new vlog. I hope that you are doing very well. I just want to quickly pop in and introduce you to this vlog. I do have some things happening this week, meaning I have an assignment on Friday for my English class, and then I need to catch up on some of my German work, so that's what I'm going to be doing this week. I am basically still reading The Belle Sauvage. I am about halfway through with it right now. I do plan on finishing it today. I do not want to read this anymore. Things are going a little bit weirdly with this one. 1 minute is quite long and boring and stuff, and the next minute it's kind of more interesting. I think the pacing in this book is very off. The writing doesn't always make sense. There are some phrases and stuff that aren't grammatically correct, and it's something that I would have thought would have been checked. No, like some of it just pushes me a little bit like eh. Then on audiobook, I'm listening to When We Were Vikings. I'm about 63% through with that, so it's about 212-ish pages. I have less than, I think I have like 4 hours left, which translates into way less because I'm listening at 3 times speed. I have mastered the skill, which makes me excited. I'll probably end up finishing that sooner rather than later, which means I'll probably pick up Truly Devious or maybe something else on audio. I haven't quite decided as of yet. Then I just want to talk about some of the books that I'm planning on like hopefully getting to this week, and that is this pile over here. So these are the ones that I've really been wanting to get to because I think they interest me the most at the moment. So I'm hoping to get to them this week, and they obviously are all on the shorter side. I think this is obviously the longest book. It's at like 400 pages, so I really do want to get to this. But it's almost 4 o'clock right now. I'm 300 pages into the Book of Dust. I'm really on the fence about this. I don't like it, but I'm not enjoying it. You know, like there were moments and stuff, and I'm like so far in already, so I might as well just power through and read this little chunk and get it done. But I'm sitting here and I'm like procrastinating getting back into this. I should have just kept reading. I shouldn't have stopped. Just talk about how cute my cat is tucked in. He loves it. Look at that face. I thought I'd quickly give you an update. I have read a lot further into this. I don't know what my last update of this actually was now that I think about it. I have less than, well, I have like 100 and something pages left, 110, maybe 130 pages left to read. I'm gonna power through that now so I can finish this off and choose another book. Hopefully I can choose something like Jack's Secret Summer, which is really short, and I can read it in one day. I think I might just take a break now to play a little bit of Animal Crossing, and then I'm gonna be listening to my audiobook for that because I'm almost done with that as well. I think I only have like between an hour to 40 minutes left of that. I want to stay in real-time listening, so we shall see how this all goes. Good morning, happy Tuesday. I thought I would do another check-in. Guess what? I finally finished The Belle Sauvage. It took me a week to read this, and it never happens to me that I have to read a book for that long. I either DNF it or I move on with life and read it in like a day, because I don't sit on books for too long, and I sat on this for so long because I was adamant on finishing it, because I'm adamant on reading His Dark Materials books. Can't say I hated this. I can say the pacing of this book is very off. It gets to the point towards the end where things just start happening and you're like, oh my goodness, okay, can you stop and get to the point? I definitely think that this kind of does borderline, no, it doesn't borderline. It is more YA than middle grade. There is some swearing in here, like very explicit swearing, which, you know, I don't really care for. I like the beginning of this a lot more than I like the second half of this. It just got really boring really fast. And then yeah, like the ending, it just kind of pissed me off. We went through all of this for it to end that way, so I'm kind of upset about this, but I finished it. Now we are consulting the trusty bullet journal here. The choice I have is between these 3 a little ventures. So we have Baba Yaga's House, we have The Wonderfuls, and then we have The Yellow Brick Road. So for The Yellow Brick Road, we have to read a book that we were meant to read years ago. For this, we have to read a book featuring a disability, and then for this, we have to read a book featuring a family relationship, and I think you can stretch it to a family-like relationship. I'm actually going to be choosing Baba Yaga's House as my next little adventure, and the book that I'm going to be choosing for that is Jack's Secret Summer. It is such a short, nice book. It is barely over 200 pages long. I'm gonna just smash a couple of pages this morning before I get started with my uni work. This comes out on the 28th of May, so you can actually read this pretty soon. I want to get through it so I can have a review up for it on the 28th because I just want to be ahead in once in my life. Before I move on, I also finished When We Were Vikings yesterday. I gave it 3 stars, I'll be honest. I gave it 3 stars. I thought the story was okay. It seemed kind of like it was going in a certain direction and then it didn't go that direction, and I can't say that I like the direction it went into, but I didn't understand why we were building to this certain point when we weren't going that way. And then, as I said before, I don't know about the representation. People say it's sketchy, so just when you're going into that, be wary. to ignore the fact that my dogs are going a little bit crazy, I wanted to pop in and let you know I have finished reading Jack's Secret Summer by Jack Ryder. So my thoughts on this are that it's so good. I really enjoyed it. I think it was funny, it was heartfelt. I'm really intrigued to see how the story continues. It is quite short, it's only 224 pages, but I think it's quite enjoyable. You have this mystery aspect to it, and then you have like another mystery aspect to it, and it's kind of magical as well. So I think a lot of children will enjoy this. I'm excited to actually review it and get some stuff going for it. Because I have finished reading the book that fits for Baba Yaga's house, I need to choose the next book. My choices are to read a book for the 100-Acre Wood, which is to read a book with yellow on the cover, Mermaid's Lagoon, which is to read a book that features a female Bond, and then The Deep Wood, which is to read a book published before 2000. But for the 100-Acre Wood, I'm thinking about The Land of Never Endings by Kate Saunders. This just sounds like a really interesting book. And then for the female Bond, I was thinking about Emilia Fang and the Lost Yeti Treasures, and I think this might be a really good option because it is once again like a really short book. It's a book that I can read easily in a day, and that's kind of what I'm going for right now, is to read quick and easy books. So I think I'm gonna go for Mermaid's Lagoon, and it's kind of fitting that this is also like a very blue book. This is what I'm gonna probably try and read a little bit later tonight / tomorrow. Wednesday. I have just finished reading Emilia Fang and the Lost Yeti Adventures by Laura Ellen Anderson. I really enjoyed this. I've given it 4 stars. I thought it was like really fun and interesting. It was great being back with Emilia and her friends and kind of seeing how that relationship has developed, and I kind of enjoyed how this kind of led to the discovery of like a new subspecies. This was really cute. I highly recommend this if you're young and you really like vampires and really fun stories about friendship and adventures. This is like such a great series. So because I have read and Escape the Mermaids from Mermaid Lagoon, I have the choice between Orion Found and The Black Ice Bridge. So I have to decide between these two. Orion Found, I have to read a sci-fi book or a book related to space, and for that I have The Disasters by M.K. England. So this will fit really well, like I said in my TBR video, which I'll have linked if you haven't checked it out yet. I don't know if this is a middle grade. Apparently it reads like one, so I'm going to determine what I think of whether or not this is in fact more middle grade than YA whilst I read this. So this would be an option if I go for Orion Found. And then for Black Ice Bridge is to read a book featuring an expedition or an adventure. So for this I could also choose The Land of Never Endings by Kate Saunders, because this actually does have an adventure in it. A difficult choice here, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a poll because I can't decide between the two of them. I'm intrigued enough to read both of these books during this readathon. Maybe I'll even read a little bit more because after this I'm actually done, but I do want to finish the readathon sooner rather than later because I do still have to read a ton of books from my initial TBR, and then I'll only have next week to do that. That's the update for now. I'm probably just gonna quickly check up on my island on Animal Crossing, which means I'll be listening to Truly Devious, which I'm about 92 pages into at the moment on audio, and then I am gonna just sit down and do some work. There's a lot of things that I want to get done today, so the best to do is just to hunker down and get it done. A bit of an update for you guys. I have started reading The Land of Never Endings by Kate Saunders. So this I'm only like 29 pages into. So far it's interesting. I'm really enjoying it. I've also sat and just like colored in my maps and stuff, and this is what my map is looking like. We're also getting lunch from one of my favorite like sushi places, so I'm pretty excited for that. I've also listened to a little bit more of Truly Devious. I'm 183 pages into that right now. So far I'm really enjoying it. It's really creepy. I think I'm gonna also enjoy it reading it, so I think I'll definitely start looking at buying copies of the series. it's been a minute since I've updated you on kind of what is happening. It is a little bit later. I've just had lunch and stuff. I'm actually getting back into working. I'm doing my review for Chain of Gold, which is to go up this evening, and I'm also kind of off and on editing the vlog that is to go up tomorrow. I'm kind of stressed about that, and I still have to do some stuff because I have some uni assignments to complete. But I finished Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I gave this 4 stars. It was like a really good read. It was pretty solid. I think that I might be a little bit more attached to the characters and stuff if I read this physically. I did find that the romance was thrown in a little bit randomly that's in there. I wasn't the biggest fan of that because I felt like it was a little rushed. But at the same time, I'm also like, teenagers be teenagers, so it kind of depends which way you want to spin it. I just thought it was a bit too convenient, and it felt out of place amongst the story. I wish there was a little bit more of a development, like we had a little bit more some like angst happening, but that's just like a personal preference. Then I liked the plot. I thought the plot was very interesting. I liked how we started off with one mystery, but then we kind of spun to a different one, which still falls within the first mystery, but it kind of takes like a small bit of a detour. So I'm really intrigued to see how the series is going to continue from this point onwards. We definitely ended it off on a cliffhanger, which I really did appreciate. But once again, I think a lot of my sentimentality would be a lot higher if I read this physically, so there is that aspect. I haven't read anything for Believeathon today. Look at him. I'm just lying here with my leg hanging off the couch, and he just came and he sat next to me. I mean, he's just so cute. Look at that face. Oh my gosh, to die for. I thought I'd quickly pop in and update you. I have finished reading The Land of Never Endings. I've given it 3.5 stars just because I really enjoyed it, but I did think that there were some things that just didn't make it like a 4-star read for me. You know, when it comes down to like the details, it just wasn't there. I did like how this book really dealt with death and grief. This book just dealt with it like head on. A lot of times when I read middle grades where there is loss, it's kind of not that prominent. Like, it's there, it exists, and every now and then it's brought up, but in this it was like a constant, which I really thought was really good, and it was quite a journey. I mean, I really did feel for these characters, and I think you can feel that because it comes from personal experience, and it made this book like really powerful. So I really do recommend this if you are in yourself struggling with grief. This is a really great book. The ending is beautiful. I mean, I almost cried. Hello, happy Friday. I hope that you are doing well today. I'm so excited. There are a couple of things happening. One, I'm finishing off the Believeathon today because I really, like, in terms of my TBR, can't continue reading some middle grade books because it's crazy. I have like 6 books left to read for the month. I'm hoping to smash through like 2 of them this weekend. Yesterday I finished Black Ice Bridge, which was to read a book featuring an expedition or an adventure. So we had like somewhat of an adventure in the Land of Never Ending. So now we turn to the last thing, which is to read the last book for the Bookkeeper's Stronghold. Prompt for the Bookkeeper's Stronghold is to continue a series, and for that I'm obviously choosing the Sea of Monsters. I want to try and finish this all off today. It's very short. It's just 250 pages, so I'm hoping to really get through it quite quickly. And then the next book that I'm also planning on starting, not maybe today, but pretty soon, is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. This is for the big book prompt on my TBR. It is over 500 pages long, so I do want to get started on this one. I think if I remember correctly, the beginning was quite slow, but at the same time, when I was reading this, I was on my matric vacation with my friends, the end of high school. I really do want to power through this. I think that I can because now I have like less distractions. I do have to finish an assignment today and work on some other stuff as well for next week, but that's kind of what my goals are looking like at the moment. I'm so excited. I'm also going to be starting to plan out my June spread for the month. Hi, so I'm back from my excursion today. It took a bit longer because I went to the optometrist, and then I went and I popped on over to the bookstore, which is one of my favorite bookstores, mainly because of the people. I won't lie, the book selection isn't always grand, but I like the people, and they're always like willing to get the books that I want, so there's that. I also, as I said, these are my new glasses, so I have to get used to them because this is like the first time where I have glasses that have the like nose thingies. I don't know what those are called, like that you can adjust and push closer and stuff like that. So this is my first time in 3 years getting brand new frames, so I mean, like, it's pretty interesting. My face is looking a lot different now. I like the way it looks though, so there's that. I have to wear these now with working with my computer. They have the blue light protection and everything. I did manage to get quite a bit of the way through with Percy Jackson. I'm 103 102 pages in right now. I'm still planning on finishing this off, but at midnight the readathon is happening, which is basically a readathon hosted by Jade from JD Reads, which I'll have linked down below because it's part of this week's vlog. I'm really excited, so I plan on finishing this before that because for the 24-hour readathon I'm going to be reading Renegades for that. I have just uploaded my vlog, which I was supposed to upload a long time ago, but obviously I didn't do watch through, so that's now live, which is great. I'm almost done with Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. I have about 50-ish pages left. Honestly, in comparison to the first book, my enjoyment is a lot different because I really loved the audiobook and I was really sad that I didn't get the audiobook in time for this. However, that being said, once the audiobook becomes available, I'll probably reread the book so that I can actually continue on with it on audio because I really like the narrator. Like I said, I have 50 pages left. After this, I'm probably gonna drink some coffee, drink some water, watch my YouTube videos that are currently available for me to watch, my subscriptions that I'm interested in, and then I think I'm gonna take a nap because, as I said, I do want to participate in the readathon, which starts at midnight. Last time I kind of bummed out really early because I didn't catch a nap, so I'm gonna catch a nap because I am feeling kind of tired. So I'll wake up at 12, get like at least 1 to 2 hours, maybe 3 hours of reading in, depending, and then I will go back to sleep. And just like that, I have officially finished the Believeathon with Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. I really like this. I popped it into Copal, which is something that I'm going to start using just because when everyone is using it these days. No, I'm kidding. No, because I think it will really wrap up my thoughts and it will give me a whole number, which is something that I appreciate. And I think also it will give me a more clear thought about what I thought about the book, because we're looking at all the aspects that I personally appreciate, stuff like writing, characters, intrigue, if things make sense, and etc, etc. So like, I think it really works. Obviously I'll have this video linked down below because it's originally her rating system and she has a spreadsheet available, which I just downloaded. I will be using it a bit more in depth in June because right now I'm just kind of testing the field, seeing how I feel about it, how things are looking. In terms of last night, I had set an alarm and everything to wake up at 12 o'clock. I was asleep, I woke up to it and I was like, I'm gonna sleep further. So I didn't actually wake up in time to actually start the 24-hour readathon, which sucks, but I'm still like participating, but not as much as what I want to. So that's the sad part. This morning at about 7:30, I did jump on into the live show that Jay was hosting with Ashley, and I managed to read a couple of pages of this. I'm 27 pages into this right now. Obviously not far at all. I plan on hopefully finishing this today. That's kind of my plan because I want to read this today and then A River of Royal Blood tomorrow. This is one of the biggest books on my TBR for the month, so if I get through this and then my shorter book, then I'll feel really good about it. I'm still trying to get used to like the shape of my glasses because I'm so used to having the square. I'm still getting used to my face with these glasses. It's so different because I've had my old frames for 3 years, so now seeing my face with something that I'm not entirely used to is really foreign to me, and I'm like but anyways, I just wanted to chat. I've read about 50 pages of Renegades right now, and honestly I want to keep reading it. I was going to just read the 50 pages and then get done with my work, but I've decided not to do that because all I can think about is what's gonna happen next. I'm reading it and I can't stop thinking about it, and all I want to do is keep reading it. So I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna finish it because that's my goal. I just want to finish this today so I can feel better about myself. He's so cute sometimes. Look at that face. Okay, hi, let me quickly give you a bit of an update. I can't really remember what was the last thing I said, but I have read obviously a little bit further into Renegades. I'm 204 pages in, which I'm almost halfway through. I'm really liking it. I'm about to go feed the dogs. I kind of also spent some of the afternoon after I read up until page 104. I went and I watched How I Met Your Mother, and the thing that I like about How I Met Your Mother, it's very it has problematic aspects. It's kind of fat phobic. Beyond that, I think what's relatable is that their lives aren't perfect. Like, they go through so many things, and I understand that it's catered and in the end it's always resolved, but I like the fact that they make like adulthood not perfect, and I really appreciate it because I feel like it kind of, for me, someone who is kind of approaching that stage in my life where I'll be working and looking to live on my own and all of that jazz, it's kind of comforting to know it won't be perfect and that I shouldn't expect it to be. So I mean, there's that part of it. But anyways, like I said, it is kind of fat phobic, so it's not it's not the best in that aspect, but I'm still enjoying it nonetheless. I'm almost halfway with season 3, which is exciting. this is the last update for this evening because I'm actually gonna head to bed, but I made it until page 408 in Renegades. I'm really happy with the progress in this, considering that most of the day I didn't read this at all. I have about 150 pages left to read for tomorrow, which I will do as soon as I pretty much wake up and I've checked up on my island and bought my turnips. Then I'll finish this off and just do my work. I obviously hope to be a little bit further in this and aka finish this and get my way, like start my way in A River of Royal Blood and get to that. It's okay though. I'm excited to finish this. I definitely remembering some things, whereas others feel like brand new. I definitely feel Red Renegades for the first time. I kind of rushed it. As much as it took me like forever to read, I also feel like I rushed the book quite a bit when I was reading it to kind of just get through the parts. But I really like my experience of this right now. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the end of this week's vlog. It is the last day. I'm currently editing the vlog, so I'm getting to see all the books I read. And honestly, I did pretty good this week. I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm not gonna lie. The reason why I'm actually doing this update because I have finished Renegades. I finished it a little while ago. I gave it 5 stars because when I put it through Core Pile, it actually came out pretty great. I really liked my reread of this. Whilst there were some flaws, now having read this and taken my time with this, I really liked this. I thought it was really great. I love the atmosphere. I love the characters. I love the way the story was going. So I'm really intrigued to continue on with Arch Enemies. Obviously, I've heard really disappointing things about Supernova from people who I really trust. Such a great first book. So the next book that I'll be reading is A River of Royal Blood. This is on the shorter side. It's barely over 300 pages long, I believe. So I'm really excited to jump into this one. I think it's going to be a fun read, hopefully. I've heard really great things about it, despite the fact that this is a debut author and all of that jazz. My goal right now is not to read it. The next couple of things I'm probably going to do today is finish editing this vlog. I probably will do a closing off clip this evening to kind of wrap up the week a little bit nicer than what I've been doing in these last couple of weeks. This is a clip you probably have seen by now. I'm busy editing, but my mom just brought me croissant and I'm so happy. Hi, I just wanted to quickly pop in and kind of wrap up the week a little bit, talking about the books as like a rehash of what I read this week. This is going to be like a really quick fire me and my ratings kind of situation. The first book that I read was The Belle Sauvage by Philip Pullman. I gave this 3 stars. Wasn't the biggest fan of this. Felt like the pacing was very off. The writing just didn't and the plot was, we did not even talk about it. It kind of got to the point where I was begging for things to stop happening. Also read Jack's Secret Summit by Jack Ryder, which is the first in its series, and I love this. I gave this 4 stars. Thought it was a fantastic adventure. Really liked the fact that we had more than one mystery going on here, and definitely think a lot of kids will love this. I then picked up Amelia Fang and the Lost Yeti Treasures by Laura Ellen Anderson, and I really like this as well. I gave this, I think, 3.5 or something along those long stars. It was fun, it was innovative, and we discovered a new subspecies in this, which I personally liked. I read The Land of Never Endings by Kate Saunders. This is a book that deals really head on with death and grief, and I really appreciated that. I gave this 3.5 stars as well. I then read Percy Jackson and the Sea of Masters by Rick Riordan, which I loved. I didn't love it as much as the first one, but that's maybe because I really love the narrator, and that is simply just like a point of preference there. Still gave this 4 stars. I then read Renegades by Marissa Meyer. This is for the big book prompt on my Wheel of TBR, which I'll have linked up in the info cards for you to check out if you're interested in that. I gave this 5 stars. It was such a fantastic reread. I definitely enjoyed it a lot more this time around. As I said, very circumstantial by the fact that I didn't enjoy it as much the first time around, but really love this. Couldn't put it down, and even when I did, I couldn't stop thinking about it, and that's just something that really happens. The last book that I read this week is A River of Royal Blood by Mana Joy. Was so disappointed by this. I'm gonna be honest with you. I definitely did not like this at all. I gave it 1 star. I put it into Core Pile, and everything was like barely there. The characters I weren't connected with and were whiny and weird and had no purpose for me, especially the side characters beyond the roles they were given. We then have the writing, which seemed very simplistic for me. We had the plot, which kind of just jumped from scene to scene, and there was no real explanation for certain things happening, and I did not like that. Intrigue was there, but it quickly diminished as I was reading the book. I didn't really care for what happened. I didn't care if Eva ever died or win or became the queen or whatever. Just wasn't a fan of this. I might try reading this at a later stage in life. So these are all the books that I read. I'm really intrigued. This is probably like the majority of my books that I read this month. So hey, this is what happens when you procrastinate deadlines, and I'm a fan.